Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ray Tampa podcast. Our podcast is new, our podcast is bold, and truth is our guiding principle. But political correctness is out the door. We will tell it like it is. My name is Ray Tampa, and I'm the host of the Ray Tampa podcast. We have in our studio my co-host, two very talented and intelligent gentlemen, Mr. Russell Cato and Mr. Jamie Wilson III. Today, we're going to discuss our ignorant ass governor. We've done so many podcasts in the past where we've discussed the governor and the issues of that particular time period. It seems like it's a never-ending thing with this guy. We've talked about the governor being, quote, mentally broke. We've talked about the governor and his relationship with Tom Brady and the fact that Tom Brady has allowed that relationship to cause people to disrespect him. We've talked about the governor suggesting that he was on a mission from God. Bullshit.
Years ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say bullshit while talking about God. I'm sorry. My mistake. Our governor is damaging our school system for years to come was another one of our previous podcasts. And we talked about the governor when he suspended District Attorney Warren over in Hillsborough County. So we've had a lot of discussions about the governor, but we're going to do it again today. But in doing it today, I'm going to read an article that was written by a reporter for the news magazine, The Root. And the reporter's name is Candace McDuffie. And she printed this article just a few days ago, January 19th, 2023. Her title, or the title of her article is, Ron DeSantis is deeply invested in Florida's regression. This is why everyone in America should wake up. Great title. Let's get into the article itself. It looks like Republican Governor Ron DeSantis's anti-critical race theory crusade continues. Most recently, his Florida administration made the decision to veto a new advanced placement African-American course for high school students based on nonsense. CNN reported that in a January 12th letter to the College Board, which oversees AP courses, the Florida Department of Education's Office of Articulation stated that the course is contrary to Florida law and significantly lacks educational value. It also said, quote, in the future, should the College Board be willing to come back to the table with lawful, historically accurate content, the Florida Department of Education will always be willing to reopen the discussion, end of quote. Though this decision doesn't necessarily surprise anyone, it still remains infuriating. In 2021, the Florida legislature passed a law that banned teaching critical race theory, which ultimately was done to placate racist white people from acknowledging the violent founding of this country, which was built on the backs of Black people. In addition, last year, DeSantis enacted a bill limiting how schools can talk about race with students. Not surprisingly, several Michigan Republicans are throwing support behind DeSantis's effort to run for president in 2024, which has a very disturbing likelihood. of happening. His only Republican opponent at the moment is disgraced former President Donald Trump.
Disgraced.
DeSantis has also stood proudly against vaccinations and mask wearing since the onset of COVID. He shared a press release earlier this week that confirmed he's pushing for legislation that would prevent employment decisions based on COVID-19 vaccinations. This bill would also prevent schools and businesses from requiring face coverings. During a speech in Panama City, Florida, a few days ago, that is, DeSantis stated that requiring people to wear masks impeded on personal freedom. Quote, "It required us over the past few years to stand against major institutions in our society, the bureaucracy, the medical establishment, legacy media, and even the President of the United States." Wow. This man, continuing here, the fact that DeSantis could become the Republican candidate for the 2024 presidential race is horrifying. On top of being anti-vax and pushing racist narratives in Florida classrooms, he also has championed anti-LGBTQ legislation. Though there isn't really any single Republican politician worth bolstering, DeSantis's candidacy ultimately means bad news for the country. His investment in Florida's regression and bigoted policies serves as a precursor to what he would do to the entire country if given the opportunity. DeSantis's behavior and the seemingly endless amount of support he receives for it will also inspire other politicians around the country to emulate it. Other politicians around the country to emulate it. I'm going to stop here at this point. There's more to her article, but I'm going to stop here because, as I stated earlier, we've had many, many discussions about how ridiculous our governor is. How ridiculous. But that last statement suggests that his ridiculousness is being copied by others around the country, especially in Georgia right now. The governor and the lieutenant governor in Georgia are asking the legislature in Georgia, or the General Assembly as they call themselves, to pass a law that will allow them to get rid of local DAs if they don't prosecute minor crimes, trying to follow suit in terms of what DeSantis did to the district attorney over in Hillsborough County, trying to follow suit. One monkey, then another monkey, and then another monkey. If the monkey is in Texas, then shift over to Georgia, and let's go over to Mississippi, let's go up to Virginia. They're all following the stupidity of our governor. All right, fellas, let's get into it. Jamie, what you got to say?
Well, again, this goes back to their systematic approach to to jail people of color. That's why they have these type of laws. I mean, a lot of like these little petty crimes. So they're going to be forcing, like you said, the DA to get a lot of these crimes. And unfortunately, it's low income areas. You have Black and brown kids doing these little petty crimes. White kids too, but they're adjudicated differently, of course. But to fill the jails again. DeSantis has an all-out attack on people of color and gay people. And the way it's written, and he's trying to also get the ear of the religious people, the Christians, because honestly, Christians, a lot of them make gay people feel like they're going to go to hell for being gay. So he's trying to get the ear of them in a way to vote his way based on the LGBT community, the whole fact that they're gay. And that would turn a lot of Christians. I believe that's his hope, to turn them to his favor just based on that, you know, because you're gay, then you're gay and black. You see what I mean? So that encapsulate black as well. So he's really all, and this thing is thought through. I mean, it's systematic, and you're right. It's going to be different states trying to do these little things. Follow him. He's dipping his toe in the water. He got things passed. He got it working. So now the other ones are going to try it. It's systematic. It is a plan. It's been orchestrated. It's been, you know, these guys, this is already a plan. Just next, like, look what else he's doing. This guy wants to, female athletes, he wants their menstrual cycle records before they can compete. This is getting out of hand.
Yes,
it's out of hand.
Yes.
You know, it's out of hand. And I'm glad I'm beginning to see people push back and speak up, and that's good. But this guy is, I mean, I've never hated anyone in my life. I thought I hated Trump. I hate this guy.
Count me in too.
Yeah.
Count me in.
And church people, religious people, do not be bamboozled. All right? Because if you're living right and you truly believe in God, you ain't gonna be tripping on gay people. Let God handle all that. If you think it's wrong, let him handle it. But don't discriminate against gay people, LGBT, LMNOP, whatever acronyms they use. Don't discriminate against people, nor white people.
Good point.
Nor any people of
good points.
Any race.
All right, Russ, what you say?
Well, Jamie almost said it all. But you know, when I look at Desantis,
Yeah.
There's a word called common sense, isn't it? That's what scares
Russ,
me.
make sure that's close enough so we can.
Good.
Okay. There's a word called
Good,
common sense.
Good.
And that's the thing that frightens me about people. That when you hear DeSantis, just listen to him. And then say to yourself, do I have common sense to understand what this guy is saying?
Exactly.
That's the thing scaring me. Because here's what DeSantis is trying to do. People better beware. First of all, he is trying to destroy public education. That's where he's coming.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to take that. He just want to take public education and wipe it out of this, you know, out of this country. That's
Right.
what he's trying to do.
Hide our history.
And that's what he is.
Mhm.
Now, I was reading something that he was saying. He's saying that AP or African history doesn't have any educational value. I think that's
Why?
and that's what he's saying.
Right.
But listen to what he's saying. He said, you can come back to the table if you be lawful, if you be historical accuracy. What the hell do you need? Because that's what we are. You know, it's a lawful thing.
Well, he has a knack for developing a narrative that supports whatever stupidity he has in mind.
Mhm.
I'll give him credit for that. He
Yeah,
knows how to create the narrative, true or false, mostly overwhelmingly false, but he has the knack for creating the narrative to support the stupidity.
Right.
In terms of the African-American history courses, to suggest that they're unlawful, man, get out of here. The only thing unlawful is the stupidity coming out of your mouth. And this bit about now women having to report high school athletics when their periods come on.
Yeah.
How stupid. Now, this is the kicker. DeSantis can only do this stupid stuff because he has the state legislature solidly behind him. Our state legislators, the Republicans, are lapdogs.
They are.
Big time lapdogs.
Yeah.
But then he also has the courts. He appointed most of the Supreme Court justices
Mhm.
and a lot of the district and circuit courts in our state. So he has the courts because this stuff is so illegal,
Mhm.
unconstitutional,
Right,
but he cannot lose because he got all these
right.
ignoramus people
Right.
supporting him. But then the Supreme Court,
Mhm.
they're allowing
They
it.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
They're allowing
they're
it.
allowing it.
You know, they're denying people freedom of speech. How are you going to tell a professor what to say?
Yeah.
You're
Right.
supposed to have freedom of debates,
Right.
a free exercise of discussion
Mhm.
based on different perspectives. But as far as DeSantis is concerned, the perspective has to be a conservative perspective.
You see, that's what they're scared of. They know damn well Trump make him win a primary, but he damn sure cannot win the generals.
Mhm.
So what they're figuring on, knowing that Trump can do it, maybe DeSantis can win.
Right,
You
right.
see?
That's their plan.
So he takes on that same philosophy of
Mhm.
Trump.
Mhm.
He takes it on heavy,
Yeah,
knowing that Trump
Right.
is not going to win no general election. He knows.
Right.
We know.
Now, I'm going to say this. I consider myself to be politically astute. I really do. I don't think another Republican is
No.
ever going to win the
I don't
presidency
need.
for the next, say,
I don't
3
need.
cycles, at least 3 cycles,
they've done damage.
because they are stupid people in terms of all this MAGA stuff,
Mhm.
and they are offending too many people.
Yeah, hate mongering.
Yeah,
It's
they're
a bunch of,
offending too many
Right.
people. And they may have a solid, strong base of supporters, but that base isn't enough.
Mhm.
Ain't enough.
Right.
It's not enough. Therefore, I'm not concerned about DeSantis winning the presidency,
Right.
but I don't want him to even get a chance at it.
Yeah.
I want Trump to beat him.
And another group, you better wake up, Republican white women. You're
Yeah.
following your husbands, voting for this foolishness. Now he's already trying to do the menstrual cycle thing. He's already did Roe versus Wade. He's attacking you. Women, you better wake up. He's attacking you. He's taking your rights away. You following your white Republican husbands, you being bamboozled. You better wake up.
I saw DeSantis in a picture with his wife and his 2 kids. And I was thinking about those 2 kids. DeSantis is trying to keep those kids away from African-American history, as well as other whites. But he wants his kids, like so many others, he wants to be denied any knowledge of what we did in terms of our contributions
Mhm.
to building this country.
Mhm. Exactly.
I'm going to try and curtail my profanity today. So I'm
It's-
going to shut up and let Russ say something.
Well, that's the whole thing about DeSantis. And what are you scared of? And he came out of Dunedin.
Yeah, I know.
He came out of Dunedin and he went to
Dunedin.
Dunedin High School. You got to follow him up on that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. But what he is trying to do, he's trying to do to all white kids, protect
Yeah.
they really scared when you put this history. Let me say this. Take Black history out of the equation. Don't even mention. Just they say American history.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
Black history is
American history. This is what I've been saying. This happened in America. This is our history. And I mean, if you feel white,
Yeah.
racist white people got a lot to feel bad about. So don't just pick Black history. Look what you did to the Indians. I mean, and everywhere you've gone, you wiped out, total genocide. It's still going on in Africa today. Still going on. So you're still doing it.
DeSantis wants to hide.
He want to hide it.
He wants to
He wants to
hide
hide it.
history, such as what happened at Rosewood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how these racist
Yeah.
Mhm.
KKK members
Right.
and others destroyed Rosewood,
Right.
burned businesses, burned homes, murdered so many individuals in Rosewood. But Rosewood was just one of many
One of many.
communities.
One of many.
One of many communities that were destroyed by these racist, ignorant KKK white supremacist, stupid people.
Right.
And Desantis doesn't want that part of history or any part
Or
of
any contribution that we've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Any inventions, anything. He does not want that known. He is more racist than Trump to me.
Yeah.
I can't stand both of them, but this man is, I mean, he's going after Black people. He's going people of color. And I'm gonna tell you, all minorities, just because you got, listen, minorities, you are a minority, you're a minority, you're a minority. Understand that. You might have a good job, you might have a good business making money, you could talk the talk, you're still a minority when it all comes down to it.
That's right.
See if he'll let you sleep with his daughter
That's right.
when she's of age. That'll show you right there.
He might want you to sleep with him. I don't know.
Yeah. But understand, we gotta not allow that stuff.
But you know, oh man, I'm trying to curtail my tongue.
Well,
Hold it back. Bro. I'm gonna grab it and just hold on to it for a minute.
but here's what you got to understand, and most people better. When Obama became president, those white folks say this shit ain't gonna happen no
Yeah.
more.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
Civil War is not over. I
Yeah.
keep
No.
saying that. It's the philosophy
Yeah.
that you saying that you trying to pass white privilege. Can't let you have that.
Yeah.
I can't let you have that.
Russ, make sure you're in the mic.
Okay, I cannot let you have this thing of white privilege because you don't belong to that.
Right.
Right.
That's what it is.
And they don't want us woke.
That's right.
That's the whole
Oh,
thing
no,
is
no.
they don't want you
No.
to speak on,
No.
because woke is actually speaking on
That's
what's
right.
going on around us, not just hearing it and not dropping your head like Stephen Fletcher. These people pushing back, speaking on what's wrong. This is wrong and letting them know it's wrong and pushing back. That's woke. They don't want that. They basically saying people of color, minorities, Black people, shut up and let us do our thing and do what you're told. Shut the hell up and do what you're told.
Hey,
Modern day slavery.
I want to call your attention to the fact that DeSantis wrote a book, and the title of the book was Dreams from Our Founding Fathers.
Oh, God.
They were
And that book was a rebuttal to the book that was written by Obama.
Mhm.
Obama wrote a book, Dreams from My Father.
Mhm.
So DeSantis wrote his stupid book that was
Mhm.
full of racism,
Yeah. He's a racist.
sexism,
Mhm.
Islamophobic rantings. It was a ridiculous piece of shit book. When I first thought about doing a podcast, it was my intention of having that book on the podcast, showing it to the audience, and then throwing it in a trash can and setting it on fire.
Mhm.
But somebody said, Ray, that's going a little too far.
Mhm.
I didn't think so, but I relented. That's how much I hated this man and his book.
You know, being in the Republican Party right now with people like DeSantis and Trump and all that, how could other races or minorities not think you're racist? How could you not with stuff like this? I mean, it's always front page. It's always like at you. Now I know that there are some probably a pretty good percentage of Republicans that are not, and I know this. I know it's a small percentage
Most
of
definitely.
right. It's a small percentage of Republicans that are extremists, racist, hateful, but all this hate. I mean, to be a Republican right now, and there's some decent Republicans out there, it's got to be tough. You know what I mean? But if you're following this, it's almost like police department. If you're following what the bad police do, or you don't speak up about it, or you co-sign it, then you're one of them.
That's right.
You're going to be seen as one of them. You know, be vocal in your party when you know there's wrongdoing. This stuff is not right. What DeSantis is doing is not right. What Trump was doing is not right. And a few other states is not right. Come on, where's your human compassion?
You know, when you're talking about Republicans, what scares me about, there are some good ones, but here's what scared me with the good ones. They fall in line with the other ones.
Mhm.
They fall right in line with the other. For instance, Omar, the lady that was on the committee.
Mhm.
At one time, they didn't even have enough Republicans
Yeah.
to put off. Those Republicans that were saying, no, we shouldn't do that, we shouldn't, they fell right in line.
They fell right in line and got her out.
They got
Got her out. Yep.
Right in
Yep. And that's my point. It's
Yeah.
like you're gonna be labeled.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz tried to explain
Yeah.
away the reason he voted to remove her because she voted to remove his friends.
Mhm. Tick for tat.
Tit for tat.
Mhm.
He said it
having
was
brown
not
skin.
right. I didn't think it should be done, but I went ahead and joined the others because she voted to remove his friends.
Tick for tat. Yeah.
But his friends offered some of the most ridiculous behaviors ever, and they needed to be removed. This lady may have said something that offended some people, but she apologized for it.
Yeah.
But it was just a statement of her feelings, her thoughts on the Israeli government.
Right.
And
From those areas.
she didn't threaten to
Right.
kill anybody. She
Yeah.
didn't threaten to do some of the other ridiculous things that Green and Gosar suggested. But there's no tit for
Yeah.
tat. It's just tat, 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 stupid people.
Yeah.
Tat, 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 stupid people.
I hate all this apology stuff. If
Yeah.
you say something from the heart and you really mean it, own it. I don't care. I rarely apologize because I say what I mean and I know what I'm saying, even when I'm pissed off.
Right.
I know what I'm saying. I'm a sound mind. And that's why I don't believe in apologizing. I really don't. And I think these politicians like her, and whether it be Trump or DeSantis, I can't stand them. I kind of hate them, but that's what you feel. We know what you are.
Mhm.
That's why we have this show. That's why we're speaking out. You know what I mean? But these people here, I can't see. I don't know why more people are not up in arms and alarmed. This is straight out racism.
Yeah.
Racism. LGBTQ preachers and women, again, white women, you're being attacked. You just don't know it yet. You're following your little racist husbands. And I'm talking about the extremists, the extreme
Right.
hate white people. I'm
Right.
talking about those people only. You following your husbands, think he's gonna love you more because you're voting his way. Stop being dumb.
You know what, too, if you look at, and I like what James is saying, but if you look at the structure of the US government today, you got people who participated in the insurrection.
Mhm.
You know, and they are the one calling the shot. Look at the House people, the House of Representatives. That's crazy. These people are insurrectionists.
They are.
They are insurrectionists.
And God knows I hate saying anything that could be deemed critical of the Biden administration. But Merrick Garland, these people conspired.
Yes, they-
They gave aid and comfort to the insurrectionists. Those are illegal acts. Those are illegal acts. Why aren't you holding them accountable?
Ray, that's
If
racist
you
in
hold them
itself.
accountable, they can't run for re-election.
Okay, that's racist in itself. Again, if that was a group of black people doing that, it would have been immediate adjudication. It would have been,
Yeah.
it's racist in itself because nothing is being done. They're getting a slap on the wrist, all of them. That's racist in itself. And that's all that can be said. It would have been a bloodbath, and the ones that made it in, they'd have been life sentence, life sentence, life sentence. You know what I mean? Firing squad.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
We've talked
yeah,
about that in the past.
exactly.
too.
So
Remember when I
it's
mentioned
racist because
that Netflix comedian, what's his name? Earthquake. When he said that if he was a Capitol police officer, he would have been popping rioters right and left.
man.
Yeah.
And when his gun emptied, he would have grabbed another officer's gun. Give me your gun.
You ain't using.
You're not using it. You know. And that's what they would have done if
Yeah.
we were the
It would have been
rioters.
a bloodbath, man.
Well, as I stated earlier, we've talked about Governor DeSantis on so many occasions, so many different issues. So we're going to have to bring this one to a close. And I appreciate, as always, your comments, your points of view. So I want to say to my co-host, thank you again and again. Thank you. I want to say to the listeners, thank you for tuning in to Ray Tampa Podcast each and every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m., 99.1 FM, The Berg. I want to thank you for taking a look at the articles we post in the Weekly Challenger. And I want to emphasize to you, Sponsorships are welcome. Good evening.